Apps can do a lot of cool things. You could order dinner, gamble on your favorite team, and track your health. You could even get a mortgage. One click and you can be approved. I'm not sure by who or what country they're in. You deserve more from the mortgage industry. At AnyMac Home Mortgage, we believe in the need for live human interaction during a very complex process. The kind of service and guidance which an app simply can't provide. Our customers are more than credit scores and income documents. They're individuals and families who live in and strengthen our communities. Their story is our story, and that story begins in a home. Chris Sawyer is an expert on providing superior customer service and in meeting the mortgage needs of current and future homebuyers. With over 18 years of experience in the industry, Chris is able to help customers migrate through the home buying and home financing process by using his wealth of knowledge as a well-qualified mortgage professional. And best of all, Chris is located in Cromwell, Connecticut, where he has helped hundreds of clients in Connecticut, Massachusetts, and Rhode Island make their dreams of homeownership a reality. Visit chrissawyer.any-mac.com. Email him at csawyer@any-mac.com or give him a call, 860-878-8730.
Chris Sawyer, NMLS number 39345, corporate NMLS number 338923. AnyMac Home Mortgage is an equal housing lender. American Neighborhood Mortgage Acceptance Company, LLC. DBA AnyMac Home Mortgage. Go Direct. Connecticut First Mortgage Correspondent. License lender. Broker number ML 338923. Massachusetts Mortgage Lender and Mortgage Broker License number MC 338923. Rhode Island License Lender. License number 201128110L. Call for additional details.
Jones on first down, wide open, it's Barkley. And Saquon Barkley will take it into the end zone.
Your best ability is availability. Saquon Barkley, he's great when he's on the field, but the problem is since 2018, he hasn't been healthy for this team.
Look at this. They lob it to him. He taps it in off the glass. How about that?
Porter Moser, I think right now is the best coach in college basketball, hands down.
Fins 2 for 3. He's done his part.
Pitch is drilled to deep right field toward the pole, and it is gone.
They don't mind not being what they were in the 90s as the best organization in baseball, because the Yankees aren't even close to the best organization in baseball.
You're trying to be the Rays, and the Rays do this for a reason. Like, you're the Yankees.
Sports Talk with R&J, and we got to call an audible here. We got to call an audible. Steve Risser along with Justin D'Onofrio. We got to call an audible. Thanks to Justin for texting me, and we're the first to report it. According to Adrian Wojnarowski, Damian Lillard is being traded to the Milwaukee Bucks. You know the details of the move, Justin?
So yeah, this is from Wojnarowski. It says Lillard goes to Milwaukee as a part of a 3-team deal with Drew Holiday, DeAndre Ayton, Tuami Kamara, and a 2019 unprotected Milwaukee first rounder, and unprotected Milwaukee swap rights in 2028 and 2030 to Portland. Phoenix lands Yusuf Nurkic, Grayson Allen, Nassar Little, and Keon Johnson.
Yeah, I mean this is a huge move. This is a huge move from shifting the power of the Eastern Conference. This is a humongous move right here with Lillard going there. You add Lillard with Giannis. This is. I didn't see this one coming because we obviously heard about the Miami Heat all off season. We heard about the Toronto Raptors yesterday, but Lillard going to the Bucks. This is humongous. This is a humongous move for the Milwaukee Bucks, and this definitely should definitely make. I mean, this is. We'll ask the question later, but right now they're definitely the favorite to win the championship. They're definitely the favorite. I mean, with Lillard and Giannis, there's no way I can't see this team not being the favorite to win it all.
Yeah, I'd be right there with you. You know, you got Chris Middleton too at the shooting guard spot. You had a guy like Giannis. You had a point guard in Damian Lillard. You had another kind of shot maker. That's something that Milwaukee's kind of been missing the last couple of years. So yeah, you know, think probably right now the bench, the bench production. But yeah, you had a Giannis and Damian Lillard, and yeah, right now in the East where it's so wide open, I'd have to pick Milwaukee to be the front runner right now to win the title.
Oh, there's no way. I mean, if you look at the Eastern Conference, you look at Boston with Tatum and Jaylen Brown. They added Porzingis, but Tatum's not as good as Giannis, and Jaylen Brown, he's not the number 2 that Damian Lillard. Damian Lillard's going to be the second best player on this. Is the second best player on the team. You got Lillard, you got Giannis, you still got Middleton. I assume they still got Lopez. They got Lopez as well. Holiday, you told me, he's gone, right? Which is expected when you have a great player like that. But yeah, Holiday's now gone. So yeah. I mean, this is a huge move. They're definitely the best team in the East. Then you look at when you look at the Heat, they're obviously better than them. They have more talent than the Heat. Then you look at the Sixers. The Sixers are the Sixers. The Sixers they ain't beating the Bucks. So realistically, I think that this is Milwaukee's conference. Or this is definitely Milwaukee's conference right now. And if you look throughout the NBA, I mean, I think they're a better team than the Denver Nuggets right now. I think they're better than the Nuggets. I mean, Jokic is great, but Lillard's the better number 2 than Jamal Murray. So right now, the Bucks are the favorite to win the NBA championship, hands down.
Yeah. At the moment, I'm right there with you. Yeah, with Lillard. Yeah, they Eastern Conference now. Celtics. I know they added Porzingis, but that doesn't do a ton. I don't really love their guard play outside of like Jaylen Brown right now. But yeah, the Bucks. Yeah, you add a guy like Damian Lillard, who's such a unique player, who's played in the playoffs. Who's one of the best guards. I know he's an older guy. I know he's getting up there, but he's still a phenomenal player. He's put Portland on his back at times in the playoffs. I know they had McCollum as well. But yeah, I think Milwaukee, this is kind of huge for him. And, because there was rumors that I think even, I forget what podcast it was, it was back in like July or August. And Giannis was kind of like, yeah, I don't know if I'm going to be in Milwaukee like my entire career. So this is probably a move Milwaukee kind of had to make too, where, hey, this is probably going to keep Giannis happy here. And yeah, they got such a great team. And yeah, I think right now, you look at NBA, yeah, they're I think a little bit better right now than Nuggets.
And the big question now is now talking about Giannis does this help Giannis's future in Milwaukee? It absolutely does. I feel like now he's going to stay in Milwaukee for the duration of his contract. He's playing with one of the top 10, top 15 players in the sport. So he absolutely is going to help Giannis stay in Milwaukee.
Oh yeah, 100%. I would assume he's very happy now to be there. So yeah, so at the moment, that Bucks team, Giannis has to be happy about this, and to add another guy like Damian Lillard, to add a kind of a second superstar. I know Middleton, Chris Middleton's a nice player, but he's not on that caliber. So yeah, I think this definitely helps. This definitely helps Giannis kind of want to stay in Milwaukee. I think for the remainder of his contract.
Absolutely, and give a ton of credit to the Bucks for making this move. Give a ton of credit for the Bucks for making this move. The biggest reason why they've fallen short is they really haven't had that guy outside of Giannis in the playoffs. That's the reason why they've fallen short. We saw in 2019 they had the 2-0 lead against they had that 2-0 lead against the Raptors. They lost in 6. They did end up Giannis did carry into that championship in 2021, 2022. A big reason why they lost to the Celtics, didn't have that number 2. Didn't have that consistent number 2. Then, or that superstar in number 2. Drew Holiday's a really good player, but that number 2 is a superstar. And Chris Middleton's a good player, but that number 2 is a superstar. And then you had last year, they were bounced in the first round. Great move by the Bucks to say, we're back now. We're back being the favorites to win the NBA championship.
Yeah, absolutely. They went down last year, and you could see they really showed when Giannis got hurt in that series, and they got eliminated in 5 games, I believe. So they really struggled without him last year. So yeah, they really need somebody else to kind of come in here and step up. And yeah, credit to the Bucks. And this one came out of nowhere too. Like there was no kind of rumor like the Bucks have kind of entered the trade. Like I was kind of surprised, and I had to kind of double take at first when I saw it was Milwaukee. So yeah, credit to the Bucks to kind of want to keep this thing going here and bringing in a guy like Damian Lillard, because yeah, it's a huge pickup for him. And yeah, and it's great. And I gotta think, yeah, Giannis, it's gotta love playing with Lillard here, and definitely wants to stick around.
Oh, without a doubt. Right now, preseason prediction, I'm going with the Bucks. I'm going with the Bucks over the Nuggets. I'm going with the Bucks over the Nuggets. I don't think you can. I don't care who the head coach is. I can care less who the head coach is. Mike Budenholzer is probably upset now that he got fired. Look at the team he's got. Look at the team the Bucks have now. But yeah, I don't care who the head coach is. I really don't. I don't care. I think the Bucks are the clear favorite to win this title.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the Bucks. Right now I got the Bucks. I'll go to Phoenix. I'll go Milwaukee knocking off Phoenix right now in the NBA Finals. So a rematch of the finals a couple years ago. So right now that'll be my NBA Final pick.
Oh, absolutely. It should be. It should be. It's a tough break for the Celtics. Tough break for the Celtics. You're thinking this is the year we're going to break through. This is the year we're going to get there, and then Bucks go out and trade for Lillard.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, they got some work they got to do now, and what we'll see now with Jaylen Brown getting that huge contract and being the richest man in the or that biggest contract in the NBA. If you can kind of live up to it and somehow maybe upset the Bucks. But yeah, it's tough for the Celtics here and for the fans of Boston fans.
It's got to be. It's got to be. Seeing that something like this has happened, it absolutely has to. So yeah, big move for Milwaukee. Huge move for them. Lillard is going to the Bucks, and so I mean this game right when our show started came out. So pretty crazy that the question has been answered, and Lillard is going to the Bucks. But we got to move on to college football, and we'll still start with Colorado, even though they got crushed last week. And I think it's going to be more of the same this week. I think it'll be a better game, but I do think that USC wins it by 3 scores. I got USC beating Colorado. I think Caleb Williams is a huge day against Shaheem Sanders. I think I think Shaheem Sanders plays better in this game, but not well enough. And I got USC staying undefeated, beating Colorado 49-31. But Justin, the big question is can Deion bounce back this week and pull off a huge upset win?
Oh, they got no chance. They got USC 52-21. Yeah, they'll score a little bit more than they did last week. But you saw up front, Colorado does not have the manpower up front, and Oregon bullied them, and Oregon could have put up 80. Dan Lanning showed them some mercy last week, and Colorado, those players were talking a lot of smack, and they got what they asked for. So no, it's be a blowout, and I don't know if you've seen this freshman that USC's got so far, Zykeir Branch. His first game against San Jose State, he had a kick return for a touchdown, and it was like Reggie Bush, like that. Nobody touched him. He's explosive. I have no idea how Colorado's going to guard him because he plays. He's one of the wide receivers. This would be ugly, and I don't know how many stops Colorado's going to get, and it's not going to be many. And USC didn't play well last week, so I could expect Lincoln and that offense put it on Colorado this weekend.
I could see it. Yeah, I mean, rough week for Deion last week, and yeah, I definitely could see it with Colorado. This is probably the last week we're going to be talking about Colorado the way we are, because it could get very very ugly for them this week.
Yes, it could. This is kind of last week was more thinking inclined where they're at. They're a team that should be ranked like I put them in like the 60s. They're a middle of pack team. That's what they are. They don't have the talent up front yet or on the defensive line. Again, the offensive line, the offensive defensive line, they got guys in the transfer portal that were like 3rd and 4th string guys at other places. Like they just they don't have the talent up front yet. And I think he's already got 3 defensive linemen coming in for next year, 1 offensive lineman. So he's starting to kind of build it up, and that's what he's going to have to do here. So yeah, this is going to be ugly. And USC, not as physical as Oregon, but they still got more talent up front.
Yeah, and you were right. You were right when Joe was coming at me, and you were coming at me last week. You were right. They were not ready to be a big time team, Colorado last week, and they proved it. As Dan Lanning says, they're playing for clicks, we're playing for wins, and the Oregon definitely proved that last week.
Oh, it definitely did. And I'm surprised after that message. I'm surprised Lanning took it so easy on him in the second half because
I know
that they could have put up 80. They could have easily. That was bad. They just dropped 8, and Colorado didn't. Tried to limit the explosiveness, but that did not work.
Absolutely. So we got another Pac-12 matchup between Utah and Oregon State. This is I think this is going to be a close competitive game. I'm going to take the team with the better quarterback. I'm going with DJ here. I got DJ winning this game. I got Oregon State winning 24-21. But Justin, can Utah stay undefeated?
No, Cam Rising, nobody knows. He's so up in the air. I guess he did practice yesterday or Monday. One of the 2 days he did go out there and practice. But nobody knows. This Utah offense right now is not great. I know DJ didn't play, great. They came back last week. They got down 38-21. But I like this. I think the Beavers defense bounced back, and nobody on Utah. Washington it's got such a dynamic offense. Utah really does not right now, especially if Rising doesn't play. I think Damian Martinez and Deshaun Fedwick on the ground for the Beavers do enough. Corvallis is a tough place to play at. I got the Beavers 24-17.
SEC matchup in Lexington as the Florida Gators face off with the Kentucky Wildcats. I think this is close, competitive both ways, but I'm gonna go with Graham Mertz and the Gators to get another big win in the SEC. I got Florida winning this game 23-20, but Justin, can the Wildcats stay unbeaten?
No, I haven't really been impressed by Kentucky so far. I got the Gators as well going the road 24-20. Kentucky really hasn't played anybody, and I really have not been impressed by their offense. It just has not been clicking. I thought Devin Leary was going to come in, transfer NC State, and play pretty well and put up some pretty good numbers with Liam Cohen as the OC, but that just hasn't happened. And I really like the Gators defense. I think they've played a lot better since that Utah game week 1. First time going back on the road, and they had a lot of kind of false starts in that game. They got to be a little bit, more disciplined. But Graham Mertz really has taken care of the ball. They're starting to get a running game going with ETN, and I think Florida goes on the road and knocks off the Wildcats.
SEC matchup in Auburn as Georgia faces Auburn, and I think Georgia wins this game. I think Georgia wins this game pretty. It's funny how they're playing earlier in the season now. They used to play back in November. Now they play early in the year. But I think Georgia wins this game handily. I know Hugh Freeze is there and Auburn's improved, but I go with Georgia. I got Georgia winning this one 34-10. I think Beck has a good game. I think Georgia runs the ball well. I got Georgia winning 34-10. But Justin, is there any way Auburn can pull off the major upset?
No, because Auburn's playing 3 quarterbacks, and when you play 3 quarterbacks, that means you don't even have one. And Peyton Thorne's been awful. He had guys open last week against A&M. He just could not hit them. Then they used Robbie Ashford in the red zone, but he's not a great passer as well. And then they started using a freshman, Holden Grenier, he's a freshman. He's not great either right now. They averaged 1 yard per pass last week. This, good luck doing that with Georgia. Georgia's been sleepwalking. I could see this thing being close at the half. But Georgia, I feel like in the second half, just like they did at South Carolina, they just step on their throats and just kind of, get after them, play a lot better. I think Georgia wins this game 20-10.
We got a Big 12 matchup in Austin as Kansas faces Texas, but Kansas is now playing a big boy in Texas, and I think they don't win this week. Yes, Kansas. We saw it last year. Them get off to a hot start. We saw them be in the top 25 team, but I think this is when Kansas starts to fall off. I got Texas winning this game. I think Kuhn uses a huge game. I got Texas winning this game 38-17. But Justin, can Jalen Daniels find some way to keep Kansas undefeated?
I would love to see it, but I got the Longhorns 30-27. I think the offense can kind of keep them in there for the Jayhawks, but the worry I have in this one is Texas up front could kind of push around Kansas, and Kansas, for their offense to be successful, they rely on that run game and then kind of use play action, and that's kind of how they're able to beat teams through the air. Daniel's a good dual threat guy, but look, Kansas went in there 2 years ago as a 31-point dog. They're not going to be intimidated. Ewers should have a good day against a Kansas secondary that's not great. And they got some, obviously Texas got some elite weapons. Baylor did kind of move the ball a little bit. They, could not capitalize in the red zone, and that's a really bad Baylor team that's just falling apart right now. But Texas should win this game. But it's another one where I wouldn't be shocked to see Kansas win. I still there with Texas where I got to see it just absolutely just humble a couple of teams. And,
they beat Alabama, though, in Alabama.
They did, but the problem with Texas is they always lose games they shouldn't. And
they struggled with Wyoming the week after.
Yes, with Wyoming's backup quarterback. That was 10-10 in the fourth quarter. And so, they should win this game, but I think Kansas will keep it interesting.
We got an SEC matchup on Saturday night between two ranked teams. You got LSU heading to Ole Miss. I think this is a really good, close, competitive game. But I'm going to take the team with the better quarterback. I'm going with Jalen and the better head coach who could win big games. I'm going to go with Brian Kelly to beat Lane Kiffin in this game. I got Jalen Daniels beating Jackson Dart. I think he outplays them. I think this is a close competitive game, and I'm going with the Tigers. I got LSU beating Ole Miss 27-24.
Yeah, that's one I seriously have no idea. I don't know what team I should trust more, but I got LSU at 34-28. Yeah, I was not again like last week. Like I can't. I like LSU. I thought okay, Mississippi State they figured it out. Then last week I wasn't impressed with the way they put against Arkansas. Their secondary was not good. And then Ole Miss. It's I kind of thought Tulane probably should have beat them, and Michael Pratt played. And last week Jackson Dart, I may have jumped the gun on him. He looked awful last week. I think LSU is going to get some pressure on them. I think Ole Miss will make some plays against that defense through the air, but I think Daniels will as well. Ole Miss did get Zykir Franklin back last week. He only had one catch, but could be kind of a big playmaker in this one. I'm going to take Brian Kelly and the Tigers to go on the road, but I wouldn't be shocked to see Ole Miss win this one. This is a game I wouldn't be shocked to see either team win.
All right, so it should be a good game between those two teams. All right, but we got a matchup with Duke being undefeated facing Notre Dame, who's trying to bounce back from an absolutely heartbreaking loss last week to Ohio State. That was Notre Dame being Notre Dame. So similar. That was similar to Reggie Bush.
That same end zone. Yeah, pretty much.
Wow.
That was the same end zone, yeah.
Notre Dame lose another heartbreaker.
Yeah, that's what's happened the last 30 years of that poor program. They just can't find a way to get
over the hump. A lot of good, no great. That's the thing with Notre Dame. That's the thing with Notre Dame.
Yeah. Even with the Sam Hartman, not yet. Oh, they still got a chance. Outsider chances.
Yeah. But I do think they win this week. I know Duke is undefeated, but they're not playing UConn this week. They're playing Notre Dame, and I think Notre Dame wins. I got them winning it by the 2 scores. I think they win at 27-17. I think they forced Riley Leonard to turn the ball over a couple times. I think Sam Hartman has a good game. I got the Irish bouncing back, beating Duke 27-17. But Justin, can Duke remain undefeated?
No, and I hope Notre Dame puts them in their place this week. I got the Irish 31-21.
Were you upset what happened during the UConn game last week?
And I don't like any Duke sports in general.
Really? So you don't like football?
Yeah.
I know you hate basketball. No. That's understandable. You hate football too?
Oh, I hate all their sports.
Wow.
I hate that. I hate all that. So,
I like Duke football. You know why I like Duke football?
Dave Cutcliffe.
Yes. Guess who else?
Yeah. Daniel Jones.
Yeah. That's why I like Duke football.
Yeah. Riley Leonard, he'll be a first-round NFL quarterback soon. Maybe he'll be your Daniel Jones replacement in a couple years.
It could. We'll
if
see.
It doesn't work out.
We'll see about that.
Yeah. Doesn't have a strong arm, but he's a great kind of runner. But yeah, game day is going to be there. That first time I will never actually watch game day. My life, I will not be able to watch this weekend. Because it'll be in Durham. But look, the worry I have with Notre Dame right now is. And I mentioned this last week, like in that NC State game, they struggled kind of putting drives, continue to kind of sustain drives. They kind of hit on big plays. That's what they did kind of last week into Ohio. They kind of struggled when they got into Ohio State territory. They got to get better at that, but I think they'll hit a couple of big plays this week. I got Notre Dame 31-21. Again, yeah, Duke hasn't played anybody. Mike Elko, I think, is a really good coach. I think he's one of the best in the entire country. He'll get a big-time job. But look, that game against Clemson this year, Clemson just 2 turnovers in the red zone. They had another failed conversion in there. So they haven't played anybody yet. And I think Notre Dame wins this game by 2 scores.
We got an SEC matchup in Knoxville as Joe Milton and Spencer Rattler go at it. I feel like 2 disappointing. I know you like Spencer Rattler, but I feel like 2 disappointing quarterbacks are going at it this week. But I'm gonna go with the home team here. I'm gonna go with Tennessee. I got them winning at 31-20. I think Rattler will throw a couple picks. I think Milton will have a pretty good game against the South Carolina defense. And I got Tennessee winning this game 31-20. But can Rattler try to pull up another upset? He couldn't do it against UNC. He couldn't do it against Georgia. Can he do it against Tennessee?
I don't think so. On the road Saturday night in Rocky Top, I got the Vols 34-31. Rattler tore him up last year. I wouldn't be shocked if he does again. I think he's going to have a pretty good offensive game. Top wide receiver Xavier Leggett almost had 200 yards receiving last week. I think he went 2 incomplete passes last week. Rattler. I think he's going to have a pretty good day. Joe Milton, I think he's be able to kind of tear it up. As well to Brew McCoy, his top weapon. I think they're going to see a lot of points in this one. But I think the difference too is I think Tennessee's defense is not great. We all know that, but I think they'll get enough pressure on Spencer Rattler. That offensive line is horrible. And I think South Carolina keeps it close. I got the Vols 34-31.
We'll wrap up talking about Alabama and Mississippi State. I think Alabama cruises in this game. I think Jalen Milroy was a good game, and I lost faith in Will Rogers after that LSU game. I lost all faith in him. I think that Bama wins this. They win it by 3 scores. I got Bama winning to 31-10, and I assume you got the same, Justin.
I got the Tide win this one, 31-14. Mississippi State last week went back to their more kind of air raid offense. They threw the ball 48 times. They only ran about 20.
Yeah, but they played South Carolina's defense.
Yeah, they did. They did. Yes, it's not great. But I thought the offense looked a bit better. And, Bama's defense, again, that's a solid defense. And I felt like they played a really well second half. The Crimson Tide did last week. I think they'll have success running the football. I think Milroy will make a couple of plays. I think he'll make some plays with his legs. Maybe last week in that second half was kind of all right, Alabama kind of taking off here and maybe figuring some things out here. But Starkville, Saturday night, tough place to play, but I think Bama will take care of business.
Yeah, they definitely should on Saturday night. So we got races, we got pennant races in Major League Baseball, AL East, AL Wildcard, AL West, NL Wildcard. But before we talk about that, we are going to hear from our friends at JPEG Financial and Shamrock Home Inspections.
Do you have a 401k and some savings for future retirement, but don't even know if it's enough to live off of? How much is enough? How often are you thinking about it? The team at JPEG Financial Group can help set your mind at ease. We specialize in creating strategies in the planning and managing of your financial, educational, and investment needs. We help clients pursue their investment goals with sound financial strategies. You deserve a personal, tailored plan. Lasting, meaningful, and open relationships are the foundation of our practice. You've worked hard for your money and should feel confident in your investment choices as you make decisions for your financial future. Your goals are our goals. We are dedicated to your needs and hopes for your future. Visit our website and give us a call at 860-430-5397. Securities offered through Raymond James Financial Services, Inc., member FINRA, SIPC. Investment advisory services offered through Raymond James Financial Services Advisors, Inc. JPEX Financial Group, LLC is not a registered broker-dealer and is independent of Raymond James Financial Services. JPEX Financial Group is located at 78 Eastern Boulevard, Glastonbury, Connecticut. There's no bigger investment than home. There's no bigger investment than homeowners. There's no bigger investment than home ownership. And to make sure the house is up to your standards, you need a professional to look it over. Brian Flanagan from Shamrock Home Inspections is a licensed home inspector and a member of the Connecticut Association of Home Inspectors. Brian was a contractor for over 15 years, so he knows how homes should be constructed and how mechanicals should work.
What makes me a good home inspector was the 20 years that I was a home improvement person, doing all the different repairs that I have done and what other people have done wrong that I had to go out and fix. So I have a pretty quick eye on seeing what's right and what's wrong. Before you move, call Shamrock Home Inspections.
Before you make the biggest investment of your life, call Brian Flanagan from Shamrock Home Inspections at 860-268-2566 or visit shamrockhomeinspectionct.com.
We got the big pennant races in Major League Baseball, and we are going to start with this AL West race between the Mariners, Rangers, and the Astros. Right now, the Rangers are in first place in this race. They lead the Astros by it's either a game and a half or 2.5 games. They're up in the 2.5 games up on the Astros. And if you look at Texas right now, you look at their schedule. I think they're going to win this division. They got a game with the Angels, which they should win. And I think it's a big series with Seattle. Obviously, a huge series with Seattle, but I think they split there. So I think right now, if looking at the 3 teams, I definitely think Texas is in the driver's seat right now to win the AL West and get that number 2 seed.
Yeah, absolutely. Tonight's a big one. They're 6-6 on the year against the Angels. They really haven't been great against them. I think they might get Corey Seager back either tonight or that first game or tomorrow night. Like they're going to get his bat back, which will be Huge for him. Dane Dunning's been okay. He's been pretty good this year for the Rangers. So, yeah, the Texas team, really kind of fell off for a while. I think they lost like 15 out of 20, something like that. They went on a long losing streak there, but they've been able to rebound. And yeah, I think with the way the Astros have been playing, they got swept by the Royals at home, and the Mariners have kind of been up and down of late. Yeah, the Rangers had looked like they'll be able to do enough here to kind of hold on for that division. After a couple weeks ago, you're kind of like, man, Texas might miss playoffs.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. It looks like they're going to hold on and win the division and get a bye. That's why winning that division was big, because now they're going to get a bye. They're going to get a bye in the first round.
Yeah, that's huge to kind of set up your rotation, and especially a year where like the American League is so wide open. Like you can make a case for any team that's
Baltimore,
going to make the playoff.
Tampa, even Houston, Seattle, all those teams. Really outside of Minnesota, yeah.
They could see miss just because of that rotation.
I
know
don't
the
see
line's
the
not great.
offense. The offense is not good enough for me, and they played in an absolutely pathetic division. I don't see Minnesota doing anything.
They do, yeah. I could see with that rotation. I know Durant's blown 27, 26 blown saves this year, but yeah, like that one's probably the least likely, but like I wouldn't be shocked. So yeah, like it's wide open. So yeah, that bye for Texas is going to be huge. Or if they hold on here to win that division.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think right now, they're definitely in the driver's seat to winning that division. Yeah, they should win the AL West. Now, moving on to the AL wildcard race, is very interesting between Toronto. You got Toronto in there. You got obviously Seattle and Houston in there. Toronto right now leads Seattle by Seattle. They have a 2-game lead on Seattle, and they have a game and a half lead on Houston. Houston has the half-game lead for that last wild card spot in the American League. So it should be a really tough battle between all three of those teams. I think Toronto is going to get in. Because I think they'll win at least a game against the Yankees. They got to win a game. I know the Yankees beat them last night because with Austin Wells' homer. They should win at least a game against the Yankees. And I think and I think they should win. I think they should win 2 out of 3 against the. They should win 2 out of 3 against the Rays. I think the Rays will pretty much have everything locked up. I think that division will be over in the next couple of days. I think the Orioles will clinch that division. We'll get to that, but I think the Orioles will clinch that division in the next couple of days. So yeah, I think that Toronto gets in, and then it's really going to come obviously between Houston and Seattle. That's going to be a really tough one right there. But I do think it's going to be Houston. I think Houston beats them today, and I think Houston wins that series against Arizona. And I do think that Seattle loses a couple games to Texas. So I'm going to go with my two other wild card teams are going to be Houston, and they're going to be Houston and Toronto and Houston.
Yeah, for me, coming down the wire tonight, the rubber match between Seattle and Houston's going to be huge, and I'm going to take Seattle. I have not liked the way Houston's been playing of late. Like, you just got swept at home by the Royals. And I feel like, too, if the Rangers can kind of clinch this thing in, another day or so, the Mariners could maybe steal a game or two, where the Astros have to go to Arizona, where they're probably going to be fighting until the very last day. So for at the moment, I know Seattle's been so up and down, but, the Astros kind of got that veteran, all those veteran guys who've won World Series and all that, but I haven't liked the way Houston's been playing. The Mariners, I know the offense has been very consistent all year, but I'll take Seattle being at home too this weekend. I know they just got swept by Texas, but I think they'll find a way this weekend to win a couple, and I think they knock out. They'll knock out Houston, and I think Toronto will get that other one. I know tonight they got Rios going against Cole. That'll be a kind of tough one, and maybe another like 2-0 win. But yeah, I think Toronto will kind of continue to find a way here not to blow that game and a half lead they have, or 2.5 game lead they have right now, up on for the wild card spot.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I just don't see Toronto blowing the lead for the wild card. Yeah, Houston this is probably one of Houston's worst. They're still really good, but it's definitely their worst team they probably had since 2016. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they miss it. I think the schedule is a little bit more favorable for them. It's not that favorable because they get to go to Arizona the last week of the season, but I think it's a little bit more favorable for them than it is for Seattle.
Yeah, I could see it. If Texas kind of loses tonight, that thing gets down to a game, then yeah, both teams kind of fighting for that final spot and or just trying to get to the, um, just trying to win the AL West division. Yeah, then I could see Seattle having a little bit tougher time this weekend. Um, that definitely. And then yeah, for Houston, I think Arizona it's going to be a tough out down there, and I think Friday night, I think Zach Gallen's a probable. I know he hasn't pitched great of late, but he's been much better at home. So yeah, for Houston, I think you could go down already like 0-1 to that Arizona series. So yeah, I could totally see it happening, but I think Seattle at home this weekend too is going to help them out because it's going to feel like a playoff atmosphere in both series. But I think Seattle may get the advantage being at home.
All right, we'll move on to the AL East race between the Rays and the Orioles. It's not that much of a race. I feel like the Orioles are going to pull it out. And look at the Orioles are playing at home. They got the Nationals, and guess who they got those last 4 games? Those last place Boston Red Sox. We're going to be making a lot of changes going into the offseason. But yeah, I think Baltimore should definitely win this division. I think they're going to win it within the next. They might win it. They might even win it tonight. They'll definitely win it within the next 2 days. I think that they're definitely going to be the AL East champs, and they're going to have home field advantage throughout the entire American League, throughout the entire playoffs in the American League. So what a great year for the Orioles. It looks like they are going to win the AL East.
Yeah, it's been an awesome year for them. They're going to probably get 100 wins, which is going to be insane for that franchise for what they've been the last couple of years. And yeah, they found a way. They went down 0-2 a couple weeks ago, the Rays in that series, and it kind of felt like, man, the Rays may steal this thing, but they bounced back Saturday, Sunday, and that kind of told me a lot about their resilience. I know that bullpen's not great, but yeah, I think the Orioles are going to be able to kind of finish it off at some point. Yeah, either tonight or in the next couple of days here against the Boston Red Sox, who have been fighting. They almost came back from a 7-0 deficit last night against Tampa Bay, but
please, that organization is garbage right now. That organization is garbage. They're worse than the Yankees, but at least they fired Bloom. At least they fired Chaim Bloom. It's the one thing I've been saying about the Red Sox. At least they've admitted that they're garbage, they're complete garbage, and they fired Chaim Bloom.
Yeah, they did, and it sounds like that ownership group is going to go out and go spend a lot of money this offseason. So
they need to.
May not work.
They need to change exactly what they've been doing the 4 previous years. That clearly hasn't been working because that has resulted in 3 last place finishes in the last 4 years. So there definitely have to be changes made with them. But yeah, Orioles, great year, and they're going to be good for so long too with some of the young talent, Gunnar Henderson, Adley Rushman, you got Ryan Mountcastle, you got Anthony Santander, Cedric Mullins. That's like 5 or 6 good hitters that are all under 30 years old. So the Orioles are set for a long time.
And then you got the best one of them all that they say Jackson Holiday, Matt Holiday's kid at 19 years old.
It just keeps getting better. It just keeps getting better. Let me tell you, the Yankees and Red Sox better start making some changes, man, or they're going to be looking up at the Orioles for a very, very long time.
Oh yeah, and if the O's have any brains, they would start signing some of these guys right now. But we'll see if that happens. So yeah, maybe we'll see Jackson Holiday. It sounds like maybe we might get a Jackson Holiday sighting in the playoffs. But yeah, they got so much young talent now. They got John Means back as well. So yeah, this O's team. I'll admit this is the team I'm rooting for to win the World Series. I don't care. I love to see that organization 1-1, and even for that fan, because I know that they love baseball down there.
Yeah, even though they're in my division, and my dad's actually an Orioles fan, so I'm definitely
rooting.
I'm rooting for them to win. I am rooting for them to win it because I absolutely do not want to see Tampa Bay win. That's a fake fan base in Tampa. We obviously don't need to talk about the Astros as Yankee fans. Then you look at the Twins. Wouldn't mind seeing the Twins. I wouldn't mind seeing the Twins win. You look. Then you look at the Rangers. Wouldn't mind seeing them or Seattle too. But Baltimore, Baltimore, just such a passionate good baseball town. They've been so bad. Yeah, it would be nice to see them win. It would be nice to see them win it all.
Yeah, absolutely. Even though I know they like the Astros, they didn't go about it the right way with the way they kind of just destroy their team and kind of just tanking. But yeah, I know that fan base has been through a lot. I'd hate to kind of see that owner kind of have to, the way he's done it and the way he kind of talks negative about the team. But yeah, it'd be cool to see the O's win it. Because that's such a great ballpark too, Camden. So yeah, I wanted Mariners too because the way they got behind that team last year, with Rodriguez and that rotation, that'd be another cool one. But yeah, either them or the Mariners, O's or Mariners are probably the two teams I'm kind of cheering for here.
All righty, we'll move on to the NL wild card race, and we'll see what teams are going to be playing the Phillies and the Brewers in the first round, because the Brewers clinched the division last night. Phillies clinched a playoff spot last night as well. So we'll see what teams are going to be joining those two teams in the postseason. And it's crazy in the NL. You got pretty much four teams within a game and a half of each other, and you got Arizona playing. They're playing Chicago right now. They're beating up on the White Sox. So Arizona. They got two more with the White Sox, and they got three more with the Astros. So that should be very, very interesting to see what happens there. Chicago, even though Chicago is behind, I feel like, and their schedule's brutal, I do feel like they're going to make it, because I don't know what Atlanta and Milwaukee right now are going to be playing for. So I do think Chicago is going to be one of those teams, and I think they'll be the 5 seed. I think they'll play the Phillies. They'll be in Philadelphia on Tuesday to start the first round of the playoffs. The Marlins, very interesting. They got a doubleheader with the Mets, but the problem with the Marlins is the last 6 days of the season, they got like six games in this. I think it might be 6 games in 5. It might be 6 games in 5 days. That's just very hard. Even though their schedule is the most favorable, they got 6 games in 5 days. So I actually think they miss it. Cincinnati, to me, they have a very favorable schedule too, but I think they're a little bit too far back. So I do think it's going to be Chicago and Arizona. Chicago and Arizona, to me, are still going to be my 2 wild cards. I think Chicago gets the 5 seed. They hit the Philly. Arizona gets the 6 seed. They hit a Milwaukee.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. Yeah, the Marlins, you're talking, I assume you've heard that story about how the Mets did not turf the field, and the Marlins are not happy with the Mets organization. That's why they got postponed last night.
Wow, that's
so
crazy.
It feels unplayable.
Let me tell you, that's terrible. That's an embarrassment on the Mets organization. That's an embarrassment on the Mets organization doing something like that.
Yeah. So I saw the Marlins last night were supposed to have Braxton Garrett, who's going to be last night's starter and Sunday starter. Now he can't go Sunday. So now it messes up their whole rotation. So yeah, the Marlins organization is furious with the Mets, and I would be too. So yeah, now it's it's tough to sweep a doubleheader. So yeah, it hurts the Marlins there. But yeah, the way Arizona's been playing, they found a way last night to get to Jose Urena kind of later on, but yeah, they're already up 3-0. So I feel like Diamondbacks in good shape. I worry about the Cubs. Did you see how the way they lost last night?
I know. They
misplayed that ball.
They did.
I kind of feel, man, that's something where that's tough to come back from. I know they got them Braves for 2 more here in Milwaukee, who's probably just going to try to set up their rotation for the playoffs and not really worry about it. But that I worry about that. Could be tough to come back from. But yeah, behind them though, is with the Marlins playing the doubleheader is going to be kind of tough now. And yeah, 6 games here until Sunday, and then the Reds starting to kind of trying to make a little bit of run here, but it might be a little bit too late for them. I know they play Cleveland and then St. Louis, but I know the Cardinals here are probably going to try to play spoiler. So yeah, I'm with you right now. I think the Diamondbacks and Cubs are going to find a way, but yeah, I'm a little worried there about Chicago.
Yeah, we'll see. It's going to be exciting Sunday. You got the NFL, and you're going to have the last day of the baseball season, where every team is going to play at 3:00. And they're, with how close things are, especially in the AL and the NL wild card, I bet there are going to be games that absolutely matter on Sunday.
Yeah, especially now last year. Everything I think was wrapped up by Friday last year. So yeah, the weekend didn't really matter. So yeah, it'd be a little bit easier. The MLB kind of went back to not ending it on a Sunday, the regular season. But I understand why they do it. But yeah, it should be a fun it should be a fun kind of weekend here for trying to get for all these teams fighting for spots. And it's great too that the Mariners and the Rangers are going at it, which is going to decide the AL West. So yeah, there's some good matchups, and even the Diamondbacks and Astros, they're going to be fighting for a wild card spot in their respected league. So yeah, it should be a fun kind of weekend here of baseball to wrap things up here, and yeah, spots up for grabs.
Absolutely. So that's going to wrap it up this week on Sports Talk with R&J. For Justin and Alfredo, I'm Steve Risser. We'll be back next week talking about the first round of the baseball playoffs, week 5 of the NFL season, and week 6 of the college football season. Have a great weekend, everyone.
Jones on first down, wide open, it's Barkley. And Saquon Barkley will take it into the end zone.
Your best ability is availability. Saquon Barkley, He's great when he's on the field, but the problem is since 2018, he hasn't been healthy for this team.
Look at this. They lob it to him. He taps it in off the glass. How about that?
Porter Moser, I think right now is the best coach in college basketball, hands down.
Vince 2 for 3. He's done his part. Pitch is drilled to deep right field toward the pole, and it is gone.
They don't mind not being what they were in the 90s as the best organization in baseball, because the Yankees aren't even close to the best organization in baseball.
You're trying to be the Rays, and the Rays do this for a reason. Like, you're the Yankees.
Hello, my name is... Hello, my name is Joe Aguirre. I'm the president of Clovercrest Media Group. And here at CMG, we have a wide variety of podcasts, including sports shows like Keys to the City, The Roll Call, Throwing Jabs, All Four Downs, and Jawing About the G-Men. And great true crime shows like Sticky Week, Crimes and Consequences, Ivy League Murders, and Bird, the unsolved murder of David Eichmann. You can find all these podcasts and so much more by visiting clovercrestmedia.com.